Hi, I'm Lauren. Welcome to my channel. I am a mother of 4 kids under 7 and a brand new, super green homeschool mom. I thought I would share with you all, anyone who is new to homeschooling, anybody who is thinking about homeschooling, any of the things to do with homeschooling. I thought I would share with you my honest 30 days in opinion, and hopefully I can fast track a couple of things for you guys. I'm going to share the 4 things. Sorry, had to look at my notes here. Share the 4 things with you that I think I've learned very early on, and I think that you might be able to learn from as well. And perhaps it can create an easier transition for you guys. So let's get into it. My family and I started homeschooling just in January. So we've been doing this for about 30 days. If you account for a little bit of time to like de-school. My kiddos are quite young. We have a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So homeschooling in this capacity is a little bit different than just picking up a curriculum and kind of giving it to your kids. Not that that's any easier. This is just different because we have a toddler in the house and we've got some preschool kids and we've got a 1st grader. So the good news is we didn't have a ton of de-schooling to do, but we did have to get them out of the routine of physically going to a school. All the kids were in a Montessori school beforehand, even the baby. So they were in a Montessori school and they were kind of accustomed to like that schooling and what that looks like. So we just had to de-school and get them, I don't know, create a little bit of wiggle room between what they were going to do and what we are doing now. If you are curious into what led us to homeschooling, or what led us into otherwise a really big life change because I stopped working, I've got another video and I can link that down below for you so you can check that out. But today we are talking about the 4 things that I have learned in my 30 days of homeschooling. Thing number 1 is that the biggest thing that I feel like really helped us is to really sample all of the homeschooling styles that are out there. And to the extent that you can, try them out or eliminate the ones that you feel like really aren't going to work for you. So first, most of the styles include, there's like your traditional, classical, where you are trying to do like school at home. So you've got a set number of hours that you're trying to hit. Perhaps every single kiddo is sitting in a desk. Mom is the more like teacher style, and that's what's happening. Another style is more of a Montessori approach or a Waldorf approach. You also have unschooling. So get out there and research the styles that work for you, because we already had a learning style that our kids fit into, Montessori, which is a bit more like student-led. I felt like that was going to be something that we were going to continue. We also dabbled in unschooling for a little bit, which we realized probably wasn't for us. You would think that it might work with such young children, but for us, what I found is that's probably not a great fit for us right now. I'm really drawn to that. So perhaps we're going to pick that up later. But we learned that our style is definitely more child-led, but I still need a curriculum. And that was something that we found out pretty early on. I also found out that like just generic workbooks weren't going to work for my crew. We needed a genuine curriculum with some manipulatives and like things to make learning fun to go along with it. But in any event, research your styles, figure out what you think you can automatically just eliminate, and then try on the ones that feel good. We actively knew that we were going to try on a few. We did. We figured out what didn't work. I gave each style about a week and a half, and I was really able to see what felt right and what was going to work for our crew. The second thing that we learned is the routine matters. Now, total transparency, we don't have our full routine down, but because we've been in this trial and error process, I have tried out a few routines, and I can also now say, these are the things that are not going to work for us. What I have found, perhaps it's because of the ages of our kids. Again, they're really young. Knocking out school first is really important. And then having the afternoons for lots and lots of time for play is something that we value. What I was trying to do was I was trying to get like wonderful family together time and do like some nature walks first thing in the morning and like get all the wiggles out, because we've got a couple of very high energy kids that frankly they got to move and they got to get all that energy out, ideally first thing in the morning. But by the time they get that energy out, the other kids' brain energy is kind of waning. So I had to find this really lovely, happy medium for getting the energy out and also though being able to focus in on work. And I think we found a good groove for that. But then because we have such young children, we also really have to factor in like snack time, for example. They're not of an age, not all of them are of an age where they can do snack time on their own. So snack time has to be a mom focused thing. We also have someone, the toddler, who he's just into everything. He's a toddler. And so if I'm working with one child with any manipulatives, he's going to want to come up and be involved. And that child is also really young. So it's very hard for them to like shut off and not be perturbed by the fact that this other child is grabbing their stuff. And so I've had to factor in what the baby is doing and how we're going to have him moving around. I think I've found a solution there. But zeroing in on that routine early on, if at the very least understanding what doesn't work, I feel like it's going to put you light years ahead. And it will kind of like help you, I don't know, get $200 and pass go in some scenarios. So focus on the style. Focus on routine. And the third thing is to really dig into the curriculum. Now, all of the homeschool videos that I watched before I could tell that the curriculum was a thing among the homeschool crowd. It was a big deal. And now that I've like looked at curriculum and now I have our curriculum, I completely get it. I understand now why people can be curriculum junkies, because it outside of like you and the relationship with your kids, like that's the second most important thing that you have. And if mom's not, or dad isn't feeling the curriculum, and if the kids aren't feeling the curriculum, well, then it's all a wash. And you're going to end up just, I don't know, fighting or bickering or just like not being super engaged at best. So figure out the curriculum that you might think is going to work for your kiddos. In my head, we were going to be choosing one curriculum for all of the kids. And thankfully, because our kids are still really young, I think that works. The curriculum we ended up going with is The Good and the Beautiful, and I could not be happier. It's really fantastic. I've got a couple of kids who are like, they're studious is the wrong word, but they're very cerebral. They really like to sit and think about things. And I've got another child who he's just not. He's incredibly smart, but he gets really bored and he wants to pick up a concept and move on. And so finding out the good curriculum for all of those, I can see in the future how that might be a challenge with any one curriculum. I might have to shop a few, but for right now, The Good and the Beautiful is working for us. We are doing math, we are doing language reading, and we're doing handwriting for everybody. And I really dig it. It's a lot of fun. It is truly a beautiful curriculum and really like well priced, especially if you can print things out or get them shipped to you. So can't say enough great things so far about The Good and the Beautiful curriculum, but there's tons out there. And so the point is for you to find what you think is really going to work for your child. If you've got someone who likes manipulatives, then workbooks alone are probably not going to work for them. Speaking of manipulatives though, they're not all created equal. So like cardstock stuff might work for some kids, or they might need like blocks, like actual things to touch and to move. I know they've got some really great math programs out there with like hard blocks so that like the kids can conceptualize what the numbers look like. So anyhow, think about your curriculum and what is going to work best for your family, but don't leave yourself out of that equation. You've got to be the one to give it. So if you are having to, for example, let's say you have a curriculum that has a teacher workbook and a student workbook, and those are two separate workbooks. Well, that means mama is going to have to be looking over here and then looking over here, and that might not be great. And then you've got a million workbooks that you've got to keep up with. For us, where we landed, what I really appreciated about The Good and the Beautiful is it was all infused in one. And while I get very precious about this one workbook because I don't want any like water or food to get spilled on it, it is all in one place. And so it feels more natural, at least this first year that I'm instructing my kids. even though I'm reading off of a page, it feels a lot more natural than if I had to avert my eyes, go over to this thing, figure out what I'm supposed to say, and then, come over to this page and then give the lesson. That one, just the good and the beautiful with it all infused in one, has just felt really natural for us. So think about that. Take a really deep look at the curriculum that you're getting, not only how it looks and feels for you, but also the way that you've got to give the instruction. God, and then the last thing, any experienced homeschool moms know this. You all have talked about this in all of the YouTube videos that I've looked at, all of the blogs, is sometimes you just have to let it go. You have to know that there's a day that it is not going to happen. And all of the wonderful things that you had planned, the lessons that you were excited to get to, it's not going to happen today. Or if it is, it's going to be with a lot of tears, and maybe that's not worth it. You know, what I'm learning is the reason I got into this had some to do with their education, but it also had a lot to do with our relationship, the relationship that I had between myself and my kids. And I love them too much to argue with them about their school. Not right now. It's just not something that we need to be doing. So it's been hard for me, while in my head I thought, okay, we're going to be doing this lesson today and we need to get through these 15 or 20 minutes. Some days it's just not going to happen. Today, in fact, was one of those days with one of the kids, and we had to just call it quits because it wasn't worth it. We were both kind of butting heads, and it wasn't going to be good. So we'll pick it back up tomorrow, and no big deal. Like, that's part of one of the great things about homeschooling is there is no big test that we're preparing for. I don't have any administrator breathing down my neck to make sure that I'm, getting my kids up to snuff. We can make it up. And there's also the afternoon. If we weren't able to get it this morning, then perhaps we can try again later on this afternoon. So I say all of this because my true space in doing this is I hope that it helps some people. I know that it's a huge learning curve. All of a sudden, being responsible for your kids' education, it's scary and exciting and awesome, but nerve-wracking. It's all of the things. And if there is anybody else out there who is doing this for the first time, and you just need to know that you're not alone, well, you're not alone. There's a lot of us, especially after the craziness of these last couple of years, there's a lot of people that are dipping their toe into this and that are trying this out for the first time. So hang in there, Mom. We are in here this together. This is really, really hard what we're doing, but I think it's going to be really beneficial to our kiddos. And you have got this. You can do this. If you're thinking about doing this, same. You have got this. You can do this. Just do all your research. And I hope these top 4 things, the style, the routine, the curriculum, and knowing when to let it go. I hope that, hearing these top 4 things from me can be helpful to you in your first 30 days. If you are new to this homeschooling thing, if you are a veteran homeschooler and you have thoughts to tell me, I'd love to hear it. So please leave me a comment, or please hit subscribe, give me a like. I hope to be on here, posting up lots more content for you all soon. And I'm also excited to be a part of this homeschool community. So thanks to everyone for your amazing videos that you all have all posted about your journeys. I am excited to be on this journey with you. Thanks, y'all.